work. And it makes me feel like I also can push forward much faster. Like I don't need to hold off anymore. I can do this. Waiting for, what are you waiting for? Time to rise. What are you waiting for? For when possessing. What are you waiting for? It's time to rise. Possess the land, possess the land, possess the land. What are you waiting for? It's time to rise. What are you waiting for? Time to get up. What are you waiting for? It's time to go forth. Possess the land, possess the land, possess the land. waiting for? What are you waiting for? It's time to rise. What are you waiting for? Go and possess it. What are you waiting for? It's time to rise. Possess the land, possess the land, possess the land. What are you waiting for? It's time to rise. What are you waiting for? It's time to get up. What are you waiting for? It's time to go forth. Possess the land, possess the land, possess the land. Possess the land, possess the land, possess the land. Possess the land, possess the land, possess the land.
It's yours for the taking. 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 For the kingdom suffer violence, and the violent take it by force. The kingdom suffer violence, and the violent take it by force. It's yours for the taking. 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 For the kingdom suffer violence, and the violent take it by force. It's the kingdom suffer violence, and the violent take it by force. The kingdom suffer violence, and the violent take it by force. The kingdom suffer violence, and the violent take it by force. Shout it out, the kingdom suffer violence, and the violent take it by force.
What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? It's time to rise. What are you waiting for? Go and possess it. What are you waiting for? It's time to rise. Possess the land, possess the land, possess the land. What are you waiting for? It's time to rise. What are you waiting for? It's time to get up. What are you waiting for? It's time to go forth. Possess the land, possess the land, possess the land. Possess the land, possess the land, possess the land. Possess the land, possess the land, possess the land.
It's yours for the taking. 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 For the kingdom suffer violence, and the violent take it by force. The kingdom suffer violence, and the violent take it by force. It's yours for the taking. 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 For the kingdom suffer violence, and the violent take it by force. It's the kingdom suffer violence, and the violent take it by force. The kingdom suffer violence, and the violent take it by force. The kingdom suffer violence, and the violent take it by force. Shout it out, the kingdom suffer violence, and the violent take it by force. The kingdom suffer violence, and the violent take it by force. The kingdom suffer violence, and the violent take it by force. The kingdom suffer violence, and the violent take it by force. The kingdom suffer violence. We're no punk to the spirit. We take it by force. We're no punk to the spirit. We take it by force. We take it by force. We take it by force. We take it by violence. We take it by force. We take it by force. We're no punk to the spirit. We take it by force. We're no begging. We're not asking. But we take it by force. We take it by force. Somebody snatch it. Snatch it, snatch it. We take it by force. We take it by force. Kingdom suffer violence, and the violence take it by force. The kingdom suffer violence, and the violence take it by force. The kingdom suffer violence, and the violence take it by force. The kingdom suffer violence, and the violence take it by force. We take it by force. We take it by force. We take it by force. Somebody take it out, go! Y'all patty cake it with it. Come on, you know punk in the spirit. Take it, take it. It's yours for the taking. It's yours for the taking. Take it, take it. It's yours for the taking. Take it, take it. It's yours for the taking. Take it, take it. It's yours for the taking. Take it, take it. It's yours for the taking. Take it, take it. It's yours for the taking. Take it, take it, take it. It's yours for the taking. It's yours for the taking. Take it, take it, take it, take it. It's yours for the taking. It's yours for the taking. Take it, take it, take it, take it. It's yours for the taking. 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 It's yours.
Good evening, good evening, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the room. I need to see. Yes, 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 yes. Good evening. I see y'all over here in the chat just having y'all just a Holy Ghost good time, and I love that for us. I love that for us. Good evening, everyone. I am so glad that you guys have made it into the room. Y'all done fought through this little wait list and got in the room. God bless you all. Bless you all that are here. Look like we got a couple of people that are still trying to get in. So we're gonna try to let them get in here. But anyway, good evening, good evening, good evening. Y'all do me a quick favor. You can't hear me. Let me know. Let me know if anyone else cannot hear me. Okay. You can hear me, Kenyon. You can hear me, Gabrielle. Okay. Alicia, check your audio. Check your audio and see what's going on there. It looks like some others you can hear me. Okay. Perfect. Check your audio, Alicia, and just see. Maybe you need to come out and come back in to reconnect your audio. Perfect. Y'all do me a favor, really quick in the chat. Can you guys just drop? Yeah, that's fine, Alicia. If you got to drop out and come back in, I'll let you back in. Drop where you are watching from in the comments. What state, what city and state are you watching from so we know who's in the room? Fayetteville, North Carolina. God bless you. Houston, Texas. Savannah, Georgia. Houston, Texas. Atlanta. Come on, Atlanta. North Carolina, Atlanta, Hazelcrest. Okay. Detroit. Let's go. I love it. I love it. I love it. Atlanta's in the room. So for those of you that do not know me, some of you do know me, but some of you may not. I'm seeing some new names, so bless the Lord. Hey, Tracy, bless you. I am born and raised in Atlanta. I am a bona fide, genuine, authentic Grady baby, okay? For those of you that are in Atlanta, I am an authentic Grady baby, and I am proud of it. All right, so for those of you that don't know what that means, if you're from Atlanta, that's like one of the major hospitals to be born at in Atlanta. But I am here in Dallas, Texas now with my family, my husband, and my two beautiful children. So that's so good. So listen, y'all are from all over. I love it. I love it. I love it. I see Columbus, Georgia in the house. That's what's up. So anyway, again, I am so glad that you guys are here for this land webinar. You guys had to fight through that wait list. And I tell you, the blessing of this was I posted it through the email. I did not publicly post this particular class. I just sent it out through email. And you guys were the ones that, you caught the email, you got the email, and you registered immediately. And within 3 hours, we had no more seats, okay? And I like to keep these classes small because I do open it up at the end for those of you that may want to ask questions. And so having over 100 or 200 people in the Zoom room at one time, I've tried that before. It did not go well for me. And I ended up being on the Zoom for hours and hours at a time. So I made a decision to keep these webinars smaller. That way I have the opportunity to get to interact with most of you, because I know that, with something such as big as land ownership, you will have questions. And so the goal tonight is for me to answer as many questions as I can possibly answer for you, so that you don't have as many questions at the end, but I definitely want to be here to assist you with any questions that you may have, okay? So I'm gonna get ready to share my screen here and get my little presentation pulled up so that we can get started. And I can share some really good information with you guys on tonight. I'm so excited about it. This has been such a blessing to be able to do in the last week or two, I think it's been about a week or two that I've been able to do this. I don't like this view. What am I doing here? What am I doing? What am I doing? Here we go. All right, guys. So really quick, I'm gonna find the chat. I lost my chat here so that I can see you guys. Where did it go? Where's my chat? Where's my chat? All right, Zoom, don't play with me today. Let's not play. There we go. Okay. All right, guys, let me know if you can see my screen. I'm gonna try to keep an eye on this waiting room as well because people are still Melody Joy. There's my girl. How are you? How are you? Okay, you can see my screen. Perfect. All right, so again, I like to interact in the comments, so you guys will be able to get a chance to talk back with me. I will ask if you just kind of like, you can ask questions in the comments if you want to, but try to let me, hey girl, let me get through the presentation as much as possible, and then we'll do some interaction at the end here. So again, I'm very, very excited about this webinar. We've had literally 3 landowners from the last webinar, and I still got several more that are lined up to purchase land. They're just in the process of looking with me. I'm helping them look. And so as of this morning, I had one other person from the last class. She closed on her land today in Colorado. Beautiful piece of property. She loves skiing, so she's right up there in that area where she can take her family to go skiing in the area. So yes, congratulations to her. Buying land is such a power move. I don't care what nobody say. Like I love nice bags. I love nice shoes. But let me tell you, when you can walk around and say, yes, I own acreages, I own acres of land, honey, that's a different type of flex, okay? And so I'm really excited again just to share this information with you. So for those of you that don't know me, I am also a pastor. I am a woman of God, and I believe that what I am doing, I am on an assignment from the Lord to help people purchase property and possess the land. Okay, so enough of us bucking and screaming and shouting about possessing the land. It's time for us to actually go and do it. And let me tell you something, this last group, they're actually doing it. And so this is a mandate that I have from the Lord, and I am going to fulfill it, okay? All right, so in all of my classes, some of you have been on my classes before, you've been on a webinar of mine. So, you know, everything that I do, we start with the word of God. And I just think this is so interesting pertaining to, you know, what we're getting ready to talk about on tonight, all right? So Genesis 13, verses 14 through 15. The Lord said to Abram after Lot had parted from him, look around from where you are to the north and south, to the east and west. All the land that you see, I will give to you and your offspring forever. Okay, talk about legacy, why don't you? Okay. And so that is the scripture that the Lord impressed upon my heart to share with you guys. Because, you know, when you're talking about land ownership, you're not just talking about it for you. You're talking about it for your family. You're talking about building legacy, something that you can actually pass down from generation to generation to generation, okay? You can't pass a job down from generation to generation, but you can pass a piece of property down for hundreds of years and decades from now, when you have great grandchildren. If you never have children, you have nieces and nephews that you may want to pass this down to, or you may even belong to a ministry or something or charity that you may want to pass some property down to. This is one of the best ways to do that, okay? One thing that God is not making any more of is land, okay? And so when you get a piece of property, it is unique. There is no other property like it. There's no 2 pieces of property ever alike. And then on top of that, it's yours. It's yours. And so I'm excited to get to share this information tonight. Got something in my mouth there. All right, sorry about that. So again, for those of you that do not know me, some of you do, some of you don't. I don't recognize all of the names that are in the room. So let me introduce myself to you so you know exactly who you're dealing with, who you're talking to on tonight, all right? And so my name is Coach Jasmine Dudley. I am an international business coach. And when I say international business coach, I don't just throw international on my name just to say that I have an international platform. I've actually spoken overseas. I've done trainings with different countries overseas. I literally have trained groups of people in other countries on how to enhance their economy systems. Okay. And so that is something that I do. I'm also a wife of amazing husband and a mom of 2 beautiful children. Again, like I said before, I am a pastor, a speaker, an app developer. Those of you that have been following me for any amount of time, you probably remember when my app went viral. It reached over 700,000 people. So I've developed an app that was on the Apple and the Android store. I have since pulled it down for redevelopment. And I'm also a real estate investor alongside my husband, who is also in the room. And we own a book publishing company where we have published hundreds of books for different people, okay? And so that's just a little bit about who I am and who you're dealing with, so that you know that I am not a person who's just made up this idea to do a land webinar. I have receipts, I have clout, I know what I'm doing. I've been doing this for years, okay? So I want to tell you guys a little bit about our story of getting started in real estate. And it was just such an interesting story. So my husband and I, we were still very young. We had just gotten married, had our first kid, or maybe I was pregnant. I can't remember. I was first pregnant, or we had just had our first daughter. And we ended up coming across this real estate developer. And it was in an area called Jonesboro, Georgia. So for those of you that are in Georgia and the Atlanta area, you probably know the area I'm talking about. This area was in Jonesboro, Georgia. And there was this developer from New York, and he was like, hey, basically, he came across us. We were looking for properties to buy. He was like, I'm desperate to get rid of this property. And so in real estate terms, we call that a motivated seller. And so he was like, I'm desperate to get rid of this property. I need to offload it off of my books. For whatever reason, they needed to offload this property off of their books. I think for tax purposes, they're about to go bankrupt. I don't know the full story, but they needed to off these properties. Well, they ended up giving us a contract for this entire neighborhood for $1. I know it sounds impossible, but there literally had to be some type of money transacted to do it. So we just felt like it was too good to be true. And then we found out it wasn't too good to be true. We just didn't know what to do. And so here we are. And I don't know if I said this already. It was actually a mobile home park, and it had 30 homes on the property, 30 homes on the property. And we had it under contract for $1, like literally 4 quarters, $1, 10 dimes, 20 nickels, okay? And so we didn't know anything about a general contractor. We didn't know anything, Kenya. We were just kind of like wet behind the ears. We was like, whoa. But after that experience, we ended up walking away from the deal because we just didn't know what we were doing. And so we ended up walking away from the deal. He said super green. We ended up walking away from the deal, and we were just like, wait a minute. If that was that easy, then getting into real estate may not be as complicated as it may have been presented before. Okay. And so we ventured on and we started doing some other things. And then we came across this little wonderful platform called Airbnb. Now, I'm pretty sure at this point, a lot of people know what Airbnb is. You've either stayed in one, heard about one, or maybe you're even interested in owning some Airbnbs. And I'll talk to you guys about that at the end. Owning some Airbnbs. And so although we weren't necessarily in the position to just go and invest again because we were scared, we ended up moving out of our own house. This is crazy. And every time I tell the story, this is crazy to me. But it was amazing. We had our beautiful brand new build. So we end up moving all of our stuff to the garage, flipping our house into an Airbnb. And within that first weekend, we made $2,000. $2,000. Now my mortgage was $2,500. So we literally made our mortgage payment, a little under our mortgage payment in just one weekend. Okay, that's unheard of. Literally, they came in Friday, they left Sunday morning. We made that. The reason why we didn't do it again, because we did not know that it was against the HOA rules. And if anybody lives in a neighborhood with HOA, you know it can be a headache. However, we finally got our feet wet and we finally made a move and we finally did something. We finally moved out of fear and did something about being real estate investors. So I shared that story to share with you that when you are investing in land, property, or any form of real estate, you got to be able to make the first step and not operate in fear. And since then, we have had multiple properties. After our first Airbnb property, we went on and we finally learned how to actually go and get multiple properties to do the Airbnb. And then we moved from the Airbnb space into short-term and mid-term rentals, where we were more so contracting with companies versus Airbnb, because Airbnb can kind of get a little tricky when you got, people want to come in your house and crash it and party and all that stuff. So we found working with corporations was a lot easier for us, and they paid a whole lot more than Airbnb did. I'll tell you about that later. So that's our story. So we've been in the real estate industry for quite a while, and we also, as of last year, closed on our 20 acres of property. So whoop, whoop. So when I say we know what we're doing, and I say that we're not new to this, and I don't ever teach anything that I have not tried, experienced, failed at, and then succeeded, okay? So I have failed at some things and I've succeeded in some things, which makes me feel confident and comfortable to even bring it to a general audience, okay? So that's just a little bit about who we are and what we've come through and what we're doing out here, okay? So let's talk about the why. What I want to know is, a lot of you saw my post about, or maybe you were tagged in it, or whatever the case may be, about what God is speaking to me. I'm sorry, the why of why I'm doing this. I don't know if any of you guys read the post, but you guys probably have saw the post in one form or another about me doing this land real estate webinar. But what I want to know from you, and I'm going to tell you my why, but what I want to know from you guys is, what made you actually sign up to take this land webinar? So go ahead and put it over in the chat, and I'm going to tell you the why of why I'm actually doing it. But what made you say, I need to be a part of this webinar? I need to be a part of this class. For some of you, God has already been speaking to you about some things in regards to land ownership. And so I want to know in the comments, throw it over there really quick, because I told you this is an interactive class. This is why I keep them small. I want to know from you, what was the why? Why did you sign up? So Tracy said April. April is one of those people that actually purchased the 20 acres of land. So you know firsthand that it's actually a real thing. I want my family to have a legacy. That's a beautiful thing. I've been interested in getting land for a while. I want legacy and security. That's really good. I want to leave property for my daughter, leave a legacy. So a lot of you guys are saying, I want to leave a legacy. And those of you that have not participated, I encourage you to participate. I know the Lord has said that I will own land for legacy needed for establishing wealth and getting out of the renting rut. Absolutely. Absolutely. And so let me tell you guys this. My husband and I, we had a really great life in Atlanta. We had finally got our dream home, the home that we had on our prayer wall, 5,000 square foot. Builder was, what is the name? D.R. Horton, brand new build, the floor plan that we wanted, that we had been looking at for years. We finally acquired it. And we were living a good life, making the money. My husband had a really great job in the healthcare field. I was doing business. So we had a really great life. And then the Lord was like, hey, yeah, it's time to go to Dallas. He didn't speak to me. He spoke to my husband, because he knew I probably would have been on the floor kicking and screaming. So he spoke to my husband, told my husband, hey, I have a place for you in Dallas. So Dallas was actually the last place, and one day I'll tell the full testimony, but Dallas was the last place on earth that I ever wanted to move to for a different reason. And so when he spoke to my husband, then I was like, hey, okay, I'll obey, because I'm one of those people that just like to obey God. I'd rather obey God than be disobedient and not obey God. So if you ever been on the side of being disobedient to God, you probably know what I'm talking about. So we picked up and we literally started all over. We left everything in Georgia, came to Dallas, and I'm like, why do you have me here? What am I doing here? And like, I don't get it. It's the Cowboys, like it's country people, like it's crazy, right? So we got here, we literally started all the way over. And in our journey of starting over, God just led us into some of the most wildest, amazing people. And one of those people was a real estate developer. And so this real estate developer owns hundreds of thousands of acreages of land all around the world. They even own oil wells where they actually pump the oils. And if you know anything about the oil industry, you know that's a multi-million, billion, trillion-dollar industry. I don't even know how much money is in the oil industry. So anyway, I met this guy and he was like, hey, I don't know how to reach other people to let them know that this is a possibility for them to own their own land. and oil and gas is where it's at, absolutely. And so I was like, well, I can reach the people. I'm out here teaching them about business and legacy and wealth already, so I can reach these people. If you're going to finance them. So he was like, hey, let's do it. So we got into partnership, and here we are. And I really believe that this is something that God wanted me to do, because I believe that God is saying in this hour that I need my children, I need my people to start securing property for what's to come. Now, I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and profess that I know everything that is to come. But what I do know is that there is a time coming that we're going to need to be landowners. We're going to need our own farms. We're going to need our own gardens. We're going to need our own properties that we actually own. Okay. We need to build safe houses and all those different type of things. And so I believe this is not to put fear in anybody. Please don't hear what I'm not saying, but I do believe that God has called us in this hour to own land. And so I believe he led me here for this moment, and however many people I can get to help them purchase their property, I'm going to do it. I am not charging anybody for this webinar. I'm not charging you to help you find your land or any of that. It's a mandate from God, and I'm just on this mission until it's done. Okay. So for however long he got me on this mission, I'm just going to do it. Okay. So that's my why. I love your whys. People have been talking about family compound, legacy, generational wealth, all those things. That is absolutely amazing. And I see you guys are also agreeing with what I was saying as far as, the why is why God has me doing this. All right. All right. So let's get into some practical things. The very first thing that I want to talk to you guys about as far as becoming a real estate investor, because the moment that you purchase property, you are now a real estate investor. Okay. And so if you're going to be over here and trek over here in this world, there's a certain language that you have to understand when you are purchasing property. Okay. And so I want to talk to you guys about a couple of definitions, and then I'm going to give you a free guide of definitions that you need to know when you're talking about ownership of property. Okay. There's just certain things you just need to understand as you are now becoming real estate investors, because everybody that's in here, I just believe that you will own land, especially after this information that I'm about to give you, and that you will become a real estate investor like now. Okay. And so again, anytime you level up, your language has to level up. So I'm going to teach you guys just a couple of things about real estate terms. Okay. So land acquisition, I think it just kind of goes without saying what land acquisition is. Land acquisition refers to the process of acquiring land for real estate purposes. And of course, we know what acquire means is to buy or obtain. Okay. A couple of other terms that I want you guys to understand is raw land. What is raw land? A lot of people were kind of reaching out to me. It was like, yeah, I saw some land down the street from my house that I want to buy. It doesn't always quite work like that with this particular program. So a lot of the land that we sell, some of it is raw, some of it is developed. Okay. And I'll tell you what raw land is. Raw land is undeveloped land without any utilities or structures or significant improvement. It's in its natural state. All that means is it's a land, a piece of property, and it may or may not have utilities. Like, so the electric company may not have put in a light pole or electrical pole or whatever out on the property, and there may or may not be a well there for water. So when you buy raw land, all you have to do is just go down to the local county that the land is in, let them know you're there and you want power to run to that property, and they will set that up for you and get utilities running to that particular property. And they'll also have the water company come out and dig a well for water for you. Okay. That's all that means. Okay. For the trees that are on the property, I don't know if I can't remember if this is in my slide or not, but I was just telling somebody the other day, or the last class actually, that when you buy undeveloped land, people think, oh my gosh, it's going to cost so much money to get these trees cut down and all these different type of things. Listen, do your research, but there are companies out there that will pay you to come and cut the trees down off of your land. Why? Because they need the wood to go and build other things. They need the wood for, it's a lot of things that they need the wood for. And so they will actually pay you to come and cut the trees down off of your land, so you don't have to come out of pocket with clearing out your land. So that's one thing that you're already going into the land making money. I had a young lady reach out to me on yesterday, and she was like, oh my God, Pastor J. Some people call me Pastor J. Some people call me Coach Jasmine. She was like, oh my God, Pastor Jasmine, it actually worked. We had the land and we had somebody to come and cut down the trees and they paid us a couple of $1,000s to do it. Oh my God, like that's how it works, okay? And so it actually worked. Somebody from the last webinar has actually already started doing it. Melody said, I did not know that. Right, it's a lot of things that we don't know because we're just not exposed to that. She said, I see that where I live, nothing but land and trees, right? And so obviously, you know, people need the wood for something. So somebody gotta sell it to them. Why not it be you? All right, so let's talk about zoning. Zoning or regulations set by local governments determining how a piece of land can be used, whether residential, commercial, agricultural, multi-use, multifamily use, or whatever the case may be, mixed use. And so all that is saying is when you buy a piece of property, it is important to know how that land is zoned and can it ever be rezoned, okay? And so you may have seen signs in your neighborhood, in your city that says, hey, there's a zoning planning meeting getting ready to happen. And all they're going to do is to sit in the meeting and talk about whether or not a piece of property is going to be zoned. More than likely, if you saw the sign, they're trying to get that particular property either zoned residential or zoned commercial. Now, the type of land that I'm going to introduce to you guys is already zoned residential and recreational, which means you can put houses on it and it's already zoned for recreational uses. Basically means you can camp on it, hunt on it, farm on it, all those different type of things. So all of that is already done. Now, if you're looking for a piece of commercial property to maybe like build a church or something like that, that is something that you would have to deal with the county with to see if they would be willing to rezone that particular property as a commercial use property. Okay, so that's just something that you guys want to know as well as you are learning about investing in real estate and investing in land. Agricultural land. The reason why I put this one on here, I'm not going to go into all of the other definitions. There are about 20 more, and I'm going to give you guys a link to download the rest of the definitions. It's free. You don't have to pay for anything. I just put a nice little PDF for you to get together for you to just begin to study these terms and understand what this stuff means, okay? I don't want us to be ignorant, all right? So agricultural land is basically land designed for farming and for the production of food, which may have different regulations and tax benefits. Okay, let me tell you something about this. There are government contracts. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of government contracts, but if you've heard of government contracts, you understand that the government pays money to certain businesses to do a certain thing, okay? So the government right now has millions of dollars of allocated funds to agricultural land that have not been claimed by businesses yet, okay? Did y'all hear what I just said? There is millions of dollars that the government has already set aside to do contracts with regular old folks like us that have agricultural land. What does that mean? We have one person right now that the person who does our taxes, she has a client right now that has a bee farm. And so what the government is doing in order for her to keep the bees, the government is paying her $15,000 a month to keep bees on her property. Did y'all hear what I just said? Okay. She said, let me refresh my sam.gov and stop playing. Listen, if y'all want to know about government contracting, reach out to me after this, and I can send you a link to a class that's being held this week, I think. $15,000 to keep bees on her property. Some of y'all are saying, wow, exactly. And so owning land, when I talk about legacy and wealth, it's not just about you building, you're going to get this piece of land and you're going to put a tiny house on it. Listen, there are so many different things that you can do on your property that the general public just don't know. And they're expecting us not to know some of this information, okay? And so this is why I'm adamant about getting this information to you guys so that you can know what's available and what's out there, okay? There are plenty of other agricultural government contracts where they will literally pay you above and beyond to farm or to make sure that you have a place where you can raise cage-free chickens, to lay cage-free eggs. The government is paying you for that. Why not? you know? And so this is, again, this is why I wanted to put emphasis on the agricultural land so you understand what's available. There's so many other government contracts out there, yes, but I really wanted to put emphasis on that so you guys can understand what's out there and what's available to you, okay? The last thing I'm going to talk about, I think this is my last definition, is land financing. Land financing. So for guys, if you ever have, purchased a home or had a mortgage or anything like that, you understand what financing looks like. Even if you purchased a car, you understand what financing look like. Land financing is not much different from that, okay? So land financing is the methods and options available for purchasing land, including bank loans, seller financing, and land contracts, okay? And so how are we going to be able to get land right now? Using a program that I have is through seller financing. So basically, this very wealthy person, very humble guy, very sweet guy, has all of this land, and what he's doing is seller financing the properties, okay, to those that want an opportunity to own property who may not be able to traditionally get a mortgage right now, because you will be able to, because I got free credit classes out there for those of you that know. It's just free. It's just all this stuff is free. Just go get it and get better. So basically, if you can't get a loan through a bank, you can't necessarily get a mortgage, or you just don't have, 50, 60, 100,000, $1 million laying around, seller financing basically is an option to purchase land without a bank, without a credit check or any of those things that would normally stop you from making the purchase, okay? So with that being said, I want to show you guys just a couple of properties that we have available, and then I want to show you guys, if you are in ministry, I got some really good information for you, okay? Now, this is one of our properties. Unfortunately, I made this slideshow last week. This property is already sold. It literally sold that same night of my last webinar. But this is a property out in Tennessee. It is absolutely gorgeous. I don't know if you guys have been to Tennessee, if anybody's in Tennessee. This absolutely gorgeous piece of property. They had about 3 waterfalls on this particular property, and it was like 11 acres. So imagine going out in your backyard or on your compound, and your family can walk down to a beautiful waterfall. I love this property, but unfortunately it is gone. So I am going to update my slide with another property, but this is a beautiful piece of property. And these are the type of properties that you will typically see that we have for sale. All right. Again, I had someone just this morning close on one of these properties in the Colorado mountains. She actually purchased excuse me, a piece of property inside of a neighborhood. So she didn't get that many acres, but she wanted to build a property inside of a subdivision. In the subdivision in the area, her and another young lady that purchased last week, she purchased in Missouri. They bought properties in an actual subdivision where they can build a house, and the neighborhood has an HOA, unfortunately, but sometimes HOAs are good. There's a school in the area, there's restaurants in the area, there's stores in the area. And so they got more of a civil piece of property in a more civilized area. But I just want to show you guys, what's possible, okay? What is possible. So this is absolutely beautiful. My granddaughter has been talking about waterfalls all week. I love that. I call this piece Serenity and Tranquility. Absolutely. And so just, I want to show you guys what is actually available. Now, these are our Texas properties. So it's a little bit more deserty, but this picture right here in the top left-hand side, I think that's left for you guys as well, is a neighboring piece of property of our actual property. So our property is also in West Texas, and it has a mountain view as well. It's absolutely, y'all, it's breathtaking. It's gorgeous, okay? And so we have 20 acres of land out there. And so we're actually I made a decision to go ahead and start building a compound, which eventually will be a retreat. But we'll talk to you guys about that in a minute. But these are some properties that you would kind of typically see out in the Texas area. Now, when it comes to like the roads, it is up to you to get the roads paved. I'm from the country. Dirt roads don't bother me. I grew up with dirt roads, so it doesn't bother me. But of course, you can always get gravel put down, or you can go ahead and get those roads paved to your liking. You are in no rush to do it, okay? The idea here is to become a landowner. There is no time limit of when you have to build. There is no time limit of when you got to get the roads paved. It's literally your property. Another thing about these properties is, and I want you guys to think in a developer's mindset. Not, oh, I want a piece of property down the street from Kroger. I want a piece of property down the street from my house. Don't think in that mindset. Think of in a mindset of a developer and an investor, okay? Some of these properties are located about an hour away from your airport, okay? So just go ahead and keep that in mind. You're not going to be close to an airport because the farther away from the city you are, the cheaper the property is actually going to be, and that's for good reason, okay? Right now, I live an hour and 10 minutes from the Dallas airport. I'm totally fine with it because I don't like all that traffic in Dallas, and it's peaceful out here, and it's absolutely beautiful out here. And so, you know, when you think about that, don't panic if you're not in an city, okay? One of the things I wanted to tell you guys is when you think about property, you think about land ownership, and you think about real estate, you don't think for today, you think for tomorrow. And what that means is if you see a piece of property today and there's nothing around it, you have to think about the properties that you may live in right now. At one point, there was nothing around it. Where I live right now, brand new construction home, there was nothing around it 2 years ago. It was literally just farmland. And now it's subdivision, it's a subdivision with over 2,000 residents here. And so whoever purchased this land prior to now, a few years ago, they probably purchased it for like $100,000. But guess what? This land now was sold for $4 million. Are y'all trekking where I'm going? You picking up what I'm putting down? So if you purchase some land right now, you want to look at the area. Eventually in the years to come, the land will probably be worth more than what you're paying for it today. Okay. This is why this is legacy. You with me? She said, I'm with you, coach. This is why this is called legacy. Okay. So you may purchase some raw land right now and start developing it. And literally, y'all, I met a guy out in West Texas. He bought 20 acres of land and literally built his own town. And so when you get the property, it's your responsibility to go to the city and tell the city, hey, I want my land subdivided like this, and I want each street name to be called this. This is the power that you have. You've ever rode down your own street or wondering, well, how do these streets get the name? How do they get the names of these streets? This is from developers. And when you buy raw land like this, you literally become the developer. And so if you want to name every street on your tract of land after every child that you got little Johnny Jr., you got little Annabelle, you got little Mary, little Susie Lane, you can call it what you want to call it. Why? Because it's your property and your development, okay? We're going to eventually develop the Dudley Estates. And my child, we only got 2 kids, so we're going to use their first name, their last name, their middle name, and their nickname, okay? For every street. Somebody says, I used to work in the planning division, and you are absolutely right. I love when people can confirm the information that I'm telling you guys. She said she used to work in the planning division of the city or county or whatever. And she said, I'm telling the truth. So I know it, but to have somebody confirm it is an absolute blessing. So you literally you're becoming the real estate developer. So you got to go and submit the paperwork to get this done. Y'all, this is huge. This is absolutely, she said she worked for the city of Fayetteville. That's awesome. I love that area too. This is a huge opportunity for you. And I want y'all to wrap your brains around what you see in everyday life and you thinking, I could never do that. I ain't even thought that far ahead. I want to open up your brain to let you know this is possible for you. This is possible for you. Can you imagine riding down, turning into your own neighborhood, turning down the street with your name on it? Like what? That's a boss move, okay? This is what I want to expose to you, okay? All right. Now, this is going to be a blessing. Does anybody know whose property this is? Put it in the chat. Does anybody know whose property this belongs to? She said Crawford's Way. I love it. Anybody know whose property this is? Okay. Somebody said CD Jakes, Tyler's, yours. I wish. Not yet. No. Nobody got it. Nope, not Creflo. This property belongs to a pastor. It does belong to a pastor. But I'm gonna tell you his name in a minute. This pastor bought 24 acres. I just want to give you an idea of what 20 plus acres, Mike, what 20 plus acres look like, okay? This particular pastor bought this property, built this big old house right here, and then built smaller houses in his neighborhood. Hello, somebody. And then he put a community pool, a tennis court, a community center, and a volleyball little sand thing right there. Okay. The idea of this is a compound. And what does that mean? That means that when his children grows up or grew up, because I think the children are now grandparents themselves, when they grew up, instead of kicking them out of the house and trying to figure out life and getting into more debt and perpetuating this poverty cycle, they moved out on a plot of land that now they own because they got it subdivided. And instead of them having to purchase land and get a mortgage, all they got to do is go and build on the property that their father gave them. Now, again, they're far away from, family, not far away from family, but they're not sitting on top of family to where it's like they don't have their own privacy. They literally have their own streets and driveway. I don't know if you guys can see that, okay? 20 acres equivalent to 15 football fields. Absolutely. I almost threw my phone, my family, and I just talked about this. Perfect. I'm glad you guys are in the room. This particular property belongs to Bishop Ivy Hilliard. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of him. He's out here in Texas. Bishop Ivy Hilliard is an amazing and brilliant thinker. A lot of people are mad at him. They was like, he's just one of those pastors that take all your money. He's very rich and wealthy, yada, yada, yada. Okay, great. But let me tell you, the man is smart. So he bought this raw land, developed it into his own neighborhood. And then because he's a pastor, some of his children are pastors, guess what? He turned this piece of property into a parsonage. What does that mean? A parsonage is a piece of property where you do not have to pay property taxes on it because a pastor or a member of clergy lives on it. Did y'all just hear what I said? A parsonage is a piece of property that you put in your church's or ministry's name, and you do not pay property taxes. So this man every single year saves about $200,000 in property taxes. Now, if anybody on here has a mortgage, you understand how stressful property taxes can be because you don't know from the next day to the next what it's going to be. From year to year, you don't know what's going to happen. And if they start developing a whole lot of stuff in the area, it's going to go up even the more. When you are in ministry, you are a pastor. Listen to what I'm saying. My one of my best friends, I was talking about her yesterday. I said, sister, you got to actually have a ministry. And she was like, okay, I'm going to start a ministry right now. And I'm going to start this church. And it's going to be me, my husband, my grandbaby, and my daughter. And we are the members. Because you got to have at least 4 members of your church, of your ministry, okay? And so she was like, and my nosy neighbor finna be the 5th member. She's going to be the church secretary. Fun and jokes, but it was really funny. But seriously, people don't realize the tax advantages there are with owning property and being in ministry. So for some of you that are out here in ministry, listen, there are tax benefits out here for you. And we don't know about it because don't nobody tell us about it. But this man literally pays no property taxes on this property. Can I get an amen? And so also just thinking about some of you, you may already have adult children, or you have children that are about to become an adult. Listen, do not kick them out of the house at 18. Don't even kick them out of the house at 20. Do something like this to where even if you can't build a mini mansion, because these are mini mansions on this property, even if you can't have them build a mini mansion on the property. I posted a video not too long ago about the tiny homes. Let them own their own tiny home on your property. Don't go knocking on their door every day. Don't bother them every day just because they're there. Let them have their own piece of property. I keep them out, I bring them back. I am cracking up. Let them own a piece of a property on your land and make them pay the mortgage to you, or pay the mortgage to an LLC that you need to set up, or a business that you need to set up. Okay. And let them have their own property and save their money so they're not consistently going into debt and having to compete with this rental market that's charging you $2,000 for 600 square feet. Like what? When they can get a tiny house on a property that their parents own and save their money and that way they have a better chance at life. Come on, y'all. Listen to what I'm saying. Pick up what I'm putting down. They have a better chance at life. So by the time that they're 30 and 40, they're not trying to figure it out like we'd had to. I don't know if anybody on here came from a family that was very wealthy, that you just inherited property and land and all of those type of things. If you did, then you probably wouldn't be on this live call with me tonight. But I didn't come from that. A lot of us didn't come from that. And so why not break that generational curse right here and right now and say, you know what? I did not come from a wealthy family, but a wealthy family will come from me. And that doesn't mean that you have to have millions in the bank right now. But what that does mean is you start making decisions today to break the back of poverty right now. Okay, I told y'all I was also a pastor, so y'all knew some type of preacher was gonna come up. Okay, a wealthy family will come from you. You may not come from a wealthy family, but a wealthy family will come from you. And that was from Dr. Sonia Stribling. Okay, she's someone that I love to listen to. All right, now I'm glad you guys are getting this good here information. Now let's talk about the how. How do we do this, Coach Jasmine? You've been talking about wealth and legacy and parsonages and tax benefits and all of those different type of things. But how exactly am I supposed to do this? How do I get into this? How do I actually buy the land? First of all, my credit jacked up. I don't have a whole lot of money. I'm barely making it. How do I make a decision today to break the back of poverty off of my family? Let me tell you how. I'm glad you asked. Okay. This is how you do it. Okay. And I don't want you guys to worry about if you have bad credit. For those of you that know me, I did a March to Millions. Just Google the group, not Google it, but go on Facebook and look for a group called March to Millions. I literally created a free Facebook group, gave you free step-by-step advice on how to repair your own credit. You didn't have to pay for that group. Okay. The information is still there. The live videos are still there. All you gotta do is just go in there, watch the live videos. To get the products, you still have to pay for it, but to actually do the work is actually free. Just go to March to Millions and March to Millions with the M. M is in Mary. March to Millions, and you can get in that free group. I have not been active in there, but the information is still there. Just get in there, fix your credit, and do what you got to do. However, you don't need credit for this program because they're not even checking your credit. Okay, and minimum funds. You don't need $40,000, $50,000 to put down on a property. Let me show you. You literally can get started with one of these properties. I know it's gonna blow your mind. $199 down. That's money. That's not money coming to me. That is your down payment for these properties. Okay, starting at $199 down, and the moment you put your down payment down, you can start owning the land. Okay, Coach Jasmine, is there anything else that goes with the $199 down payment? Yes, there is. Anytime you're making a real estate transaction, there is something called closing costs. You guys have probably heard about that if you're in any form of real estate or whatever the case may be, if you purchase anything or just by hearing, there is something called a closing cost and doc fees. The only other fee that you have to pay is a $199 closing and doc fee. So how much will you put down in total to start owning land today? $398, $199 down for the property, and another $199 for your closing costs and doc fee. You cannot buy a house for $398 down. Okay, and the $398, the down payment and the closing, that's a one-time fee that goes down on the property. Then you finance the land up to 20 years, just like you would do with a mortgage. Some mortgages, they let you finance up to 30 years. Okay, depending on the price of the mortgage, obviously, if the cost of the property is $5,000, I highly do not advise you to finance anything like that for 20 years. That's absurd because you're going to spend more in interest than you will in actually owning the property. That's just ridiculous. Okay. And so if I finance you, I'm only going to do about 6 to 7 years for something that cheap, 5 to 6 or 7 years for something that cheap. But for the most part, properties that are over about 15,000, I can give you up to 20 years to finance that property. Okay. So you don't have to worry about that. Now, how much does it cost a month? Okay, what will my monthly payment be, Coach? What will my mortgage be? Okay, because the properties are priced between $5,900 to $149,000 on up, because we do have some properties that are in the millions, but I'm not trying to get y'all in those properties today. I just want you guys to start somewhere. The monthly payment for some of these properties, if you put $199 down, $100 a month, as low as $100 a month, y'all. Are you hearing me? As low as $100 a month. I literally spend that in Walmart every time I go. That's why I hate going to Walmart. So imagine you doing your down payment and only paying $100 a month, $25 a week to own your property. And then get this, there is no prepayment penalty. So let's just say, you know what? I got my income tax check. I just want to pay my land off. It was only $5,900. I just want to pay my land off. You pay your land off. You now own this property and you're done with it. Okay. That's it. You own the property. You're done with it. And so she said, Lord have mercy. Are you guys understanding what I'm telling you? Type yes in the comment. I want you to make sure you understand what I'm telling you. Is there any other catch to it? Yes. The catch is nothing. You own the property that day. So what can you do when you own the property? You can go cut trees down. You can go lay concrete. You can go build. You can go and run naked out there if you want to. I don't advise that because I'm, bugs and stuff. I don't know, but that's on y'all. Whatever you want to do on the property, the day you sign the contract, which is all in the same day, you can do that. The underwriter is very great, and they will close you on the same day, if not the very next day. Okay. Here's another kicker. Total blessing. Now, I don't advise anybody to go into foreclosure on your property. However, we know things happen. Okay. It's life. Things just happen. Here's the thing. Let's just say you purchase your property and you just hit a hard spot in life. Everything, you can't afford two nickels to rub together and your property goes into foreclosure. Number one, they're going to give you 90 days before they foreclose on the property. Number two, guess what? It does not report to your credit. And where you can go to buy property, get financed, and they don't report a foreclosure to your credit. Now, please don't take that as a way out to just get out of debt. I don't advise anybody to go through foreclosure. If you can pay your bills, pay your bills. This is why some of us have ended up in bad credit to begin with, because it's like, well, I'm just not going to pay it. No, pay your bills. Pay your bills. But here's the thing. To eliminate fear, the reason why I tell people this is to eliminate fear. If you go into foreclosure, just like any other property, yes, they are going to take the property back, but going forward, it does not hinder you from buying more property. It does not hinder you from buying a house. It does not damage your credit. What a blessing. What a blessing. That even if you mess up with this, it's like, okay, it doesn't set me back. If you get foreclosed on a property, honey, first of all, they can drag that out for 2 years. And then secondly, it's on your credit for 7 years. And then if you file bankruptcy, you can file bankruptcy and it's gone. Yes, but then the bankruptcy is on your credit for 7 years. Okay. So I know, Jessica, it's a huge blessing. It's a huge blessing. So for those of you that know me, again, you know that I'm a business coach. So if you have a business in here, can you buy the property and put it in your business name? Yes, you can. And I'm also working on a way to allow the mortgage payments to report to your business credit to continue to build your business credit. I have not gotten there yet, but if you purchase property with me and you go along with me on this journey, I'm eventually going to get that secured to where the mortgage payments are reporting to your actual credit. Even if you foreclose, it is just stop at that last payment. Okay. But those payments will report to your business credit. So if you've been around me for any extent of time, you understand about business credit, you understand what I'm talking about, okay? And the benefits of having business credit to invest in other types of real estate, but I'm about to talk about that in a minute, okay? So this is what it looks like. Now, the closer you are to a city, the less acreage you're gonna get and the more money it's gonna cost, okay? So I just wanna let you guys know that. So what's gonna end up happening is, well, let me say this and then I'll talk about that. So with this particular inventory, there is inventory that is consistently added almost daily. Okay, we're about to get ready to release about 2,000 more acres in Texas. But it's like consistently there's more property being added. However, right now, these are the states that we have available: Arkansas, Colorado, Kentucky, Mississippi, Missouri, Nevada, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Texas, and Wyoming. Let me tell you this. This property goes so fast. Like I told you guys, before I could even eat, well, actually, after I ended the last webinar, that beautiful property that we saw in Tennessee with the waterfall was already sold. Okay, so you may see it today and it might be gone by tonight. That's how quickly these properties are going. Okay, so I just want to kind of put that disclaimer out there. You say, okay, I found my perfect piece of property and I'm gonna buy it at Christmas. It is probably not going to be available. 9.5 times out of 10 is not going to be available because this land is right now. There's this uptick in people learning about land ownership, and so because of that, it's going. Okay, so you want to go ahead and get your land secured. Do not delay. Another benefit is this underwriter has an exchange program. So let's just say you found a piece of property. You say, I ain't feeling this piece of property. I want to exchange it. Honey, just like you take a pair of jeans back to Macy's and exchange it for something else and pay the difference, it's the same thing this underwriter is allowing you to do with property. So let's just say, hey, you bought 5 acres of property in Nevada and you found something and you found the 20 acres that you've been desiring in Texas. They will let you exchange the property. The only thing you have to do is pay one more closing cost because you have to, it's like you're closing on a new piece of property. So you will pay another $199. I'm not gonna say 200. You will pay another $199 closing and dock fee. And you can switch your property over to the property in Texas and resume your mortgage. Okay. So obviously it's probably gonna, if you're going from 5 acres to 20 acres, your mortgage is gonna be more, but your next payment, you'll start making the payments for the new mortgage. Okay. So that's another blessing that is able to be worked out with these particular properties. So you're never, just know you're never stuck, okay? So that's that. Again, like we have inventory that's consistently added, but again, your perfect piece of property, you may not find it right away. You can always get into a property and then, find another one later. Or like the young lady that I had today, she bought a piece of property in Colorado. And she was like, all right, tomorrow or next week, I'm going to come back and buy the adjacent properties to that one property because she wanted a lot of acreages, but some of these properties were already subdivided and she would have to buy each property at each time. So she's going to come back and buy the other properties that's next to it. So just keep that in mind as well. Okay. So how do you get started? I need everybody that is in this Zoom room to pay attention. This is probably going to be the most important step. 1 second, Jessica. This is probably going to be one of the most important steps that you need to do. This is what I need you to do. I need you to text me. Okay. This is my cell phone number. Do not put anything personally between me and you. This is a business line. Okay. So for some of you that got a personal relationship with me, please do not put that in here about your boyfriend or what your kids done did. This is a business line. I do have an assistant that will check these text messages. So all I need you to do is text me on this line, and then this is what I want you to put, so I can put you into my contacts. I want you to say, hey, Coach Jasmine, this is whatever your name is. This is your email. Send me land deals. Like y'all literally, I want you to stop and I want you to do that right now. 469-406-1943. Okay. It costs you nothing. I just need you to text me. Okay. Because what's going to end up happening with me, guys, is eventually the access for this is going to be cut off. And if you don't have my number and we have not communicated, it was not going to happen. Okay. So this is what I'm telling you guys. Just text me. You're not going to get no automatic message back. It's not one of those things where you're going to get an automatic. No, you texting my phone right now. And I'm going to lock your information in and your email. And what's going to happen is I'm seeing you guys text. I got your message, Tasha. I'm seeing you guys text now. What's going to happen is as I get more properties, I'll be able to just text it out to you. It makes it easier for me to just text it out to y'all. Can't call, don't call me. One of y'all, I don't know who this is calling me. Don't call me. I'm on the Zoom. You can't call me right now. Just text me and put it in there. Put your name, your email, and say send me land deals. That way you can say, hey, I'm looking for something in Texas. I don't know, like when they put the land, when they say, hey, we finna get ready to close on some property in Texas, I'm texting you first. No, it's okay. I'm texting you first, so you'll know, like, hey, let's get in here, let's get it done. That makes it easier for me, okay, versus trying to find you on Facebook, trying to find your email. It's not gonna happen. So it's easier for me to just text you The texting is connected to my computer and the land that I have, okay? So, and we'll do a lot of communication through there, okay? The very next thing that you need to do is after this Zoom call is over, what you're gonna end up doing is setting up a one-on-one meeting with me. I'm gonna send you an email, probably tonight, and I'm gonna send you my calendar. It's free. You're not paying to meet with me, okay? I just want to make sure that's clear. And okay, I see you guys are still texting me. Perfect. You're gonna set up a Calendly link. I have a Calendly link. You're gonna set up a meeting with me. Only set up a meeting if you're actually ready to purchase your land, okay? You have your down payment, you're ready to purchase land. And let me say this, you can put more down to make your monthly payment lower. So you'll end up seeing some properties that's like $50,000, $60,000. Obviously, you're not gonna have $100 payment on that, okay? Your payment's probably gonna be like $350, $400 or whatever the case may be. So just kind of keep that in the forefront of your mind. We do offer deals where if you put, the more you put down, you can actually get a discount. Like the highest one, if you put 20% down, you get 20% off. And so you're financing a way cheaper mortgage doing it that way. If you put $1,000 down, you get 10% off of the sales price of that particular property. If you put 500 down, I think it's 5% off of the property. If you only do the 199 down, there's no percentage off of the property. It's just the regular finance, and it is what it is, okay? Again, none of it is a credit check, so don't panic. Please don't panic. None of it is a credit check. They're not going to check your credit. So the people that I'm working with, like I said, only schedule the meeting if you know, hey, I'm ready to sit on this Zoom call with you and find me some land and make the purchase, okay? I have to say that because everybody will try to schedule a meeting with me to ask me a bunch of questions that is going to take up too much of my time. And I don't mind talking to y'all. Don't get me wrong. I don't mind talking to you, but I want to make sure that I'm spending the time that I need to spend with the people that are actually ready to buy. So if you're not ready to buy, you're more than welcome to just text me or ask me any questions that you may have. I will answer you within 24 to 48 hours. Give me time. I got 2 small kids and I always got a hungry husband. So give me some time to respond to you. And I would definitely respond to you. But again, I'm gonna send you guys an email tonight with my calendar link. I'm gonna sit on a Zoom call with you and I'm gonna go through land with you. We're gonna look at the specs. We're gonna look at if there's utility, if there's water. Again, I'm not charging y'all for this. So this is like a once in a lifetime opportunity. Do y'all hear me? I'm not charging you for it. I'm gonna help you find your land and I'm gonna help you purchase your land. And that's that. All I need from you to do is just bless God when it's done, because that's all I want. I just want to praise God with you when it's done, okay? You pay your mortgage, you own your land. Send me pictures when you go out to your property and build your house. I want to be a part of the story, okay? So that's what I need you guys to do, okay? You're so welcome, Jessica. The next thing I want to know, this is my offer, okay? This is something that I'm getting ready to offer you guys. There is probably one of you that may have taken my class that was in here. I had a lot of people in the last class. This is my offer to you. For some of you, they're saying, you know what, Jasmine, I'm going to purchase land, but I also want to learn more about real estate investing. Okay. I want to get in the game. I want another stream of income. I want passive income, or I want to make some money so I can get off of my job. I want to make money to invest in other properties. I want to really get into the real estate game. If this is something that you want to do, I have a real estate investors training coming up on September 19th, okay? I'm almost at capacity with that class as well, which is amazing because the first class, a lot of those people signed up from the first class. I have not publicly advertised this class. Only the people that are in the webinar get the information about this class because I want you guys to get first dibs, because once it's full, I have to cut it off because we do so much work in this class, okay? And when I say we do a lot of work, I mean we do a lot of work. So let me just give you a rundown of what we're going to do in this real estate investors class. We're going to talk about short-term and mid-term rentals, which is your Airbnb, but I'm also going to show you how to get contracts for corporations to have them pay you to house their employees, okay? I'm going to talk to you about starting your property management company, because once you have multiple properties, you need property management companies. Do not fear about money. I'm going to teach you how to go and get it, okay? How to purchase tax lien properties, how to build business credit to invest in property. Now, if you're on my Facebook page, I'm about to send you guys a link. If you're on my Facebook page, you saw the very first new construction Airbnb that we got. So we did our house and we had the mobile homes, but we had a new construction Airbnb that we got, and I posted that. The only money I paid out of pocket was the money for the McDonald's that we stopped to get on the way over there to look at the property. All of the furniture, all of the application fees, all of the down payments was strictly done on business credit, not of any of my own credit, none of my husband's credit, strictly on business credit. I mean, from the toilet paper to the couch to the bed, every single thing we did on business credit. I'm going to teach you how to do that in this class, okay? Do not worry about your credit. I'm trying to tell y'all something. Hear me. Do not worry about your credit. Do not worry about your credit, okay? Worry about it for your personal life, but for the sake of becoming a real estate investor, I'm going to show you how to do both, okay? I'm also going to show you, I'm going to briefly go over how to get into the market of fixing and flipping properties and rehabbing properties. And what the heck does that even mean? I'm also going to talk to you guys about ADUs. What is an ADU? It's accessory dwellings to your current residence. So for those of you that already own a home or you're living with a family member that own a home, how do you add an accessory dwelling unit or a rental unit to the property that you already own? Some of you can flip your garage. Some of you can add on an extension. You can add certain things to your backyard that will qualify as the accessory dwelling unit, and you can start making residual income from that. I'm gonna show you how to do that, and I'm gonna show you how to do a whole lot of other stuff in this particular class, okay? Here's the thing. Again, I only got a few more spaces left in this class. I'm not one of those people that make up when I say I got a few spaces left. I literally mean that. I'm not making it up. It's not a gag to get you to buy. If you want to buy, great. If you want to go to the next level, great. It don't make me none. I desire for you to, but hey, okay? Do what you do, okay? So if you were in this class tonight, if you're in this class tonight and you want to sign up tonight, I'm taking $300 off the class. And y'all like, oh my God, the class must be thousands of dollars. No, it ain't even $1,000. It ain't even $900. I'm taking $300 off the class tonight if you want to get into this class, okay? Here's the thing. That's the link. This is what you need to type in the, please, y'all, and please don't share this with anybody. Please don't share this with anybody. Type that promo code. I just put everything in the chat. Type that promo code in the promotional box. If it doesn't work, just send me a message and I'll go in and fix it. It may have expired from the last class, but only for you guys tonight. You want to sign up tonight, you get $300 off of this class to sign up for the real estate class. There is payment plans options available. Okay, I'm trying to make this. You ever see somebody that's desperate to make something easy for you? I'm like desperate to make something easy for you. Okay, the last class I had, it was a 1-day class, 1 day, and this is a 4-week class. Okay, but for 1 day, I normally charge $800 for 1 day, 1 day with me. But however, that 1 day was worth it because every single person in my last class ended up with multiple properties, ended up with multiple contracts from corporations, and they are still to this day making residual income off of those properties. Did y'all hear me? Okay. You want to work with somebody that got receipts. You want to work with somebody that has proof. It starts on September 19th and it's for 4 weeks. I don't know what that last end date is, but it's for 4 weeks. Okay. So I do have Afterpay available. I do have Klarna available on there. And I do have an option to do a payment plan. If you don't qualify for either one of those, I do have an option to do a payment plan on there. You just have to make your first payment tonight. I think it's like $130 or something like that to start to enroll in the class tonight, okay? Klarna and Afterpay is available. And then there is the payment plan on there, okay? She said, what are the hours? Look on that link. It should be on there. If it's not on there, I typically do classes around the same time when I do my classes. So it'll probably be wherever, I'm not sure, you're in Texas, right? So it'll be 7 p.m. our time here. So I typically do classes in the evenings. And listen, if you miss class, only those classes. If you miss the class, you are able to get the replay. The information will still be posted in the group. Typically on Thursdays, Kat, this particular class is probably going to end up being on Thursdays. However, if you miss the live class, you will get the replay information inside of a group where you can go in and watch the replay, and you will still have access to me to walk you through. And when I walk you through, I literally have been on the phone with some of my students while they were literally signing leases, signing documents. I'm on the phone with them, walking them through what to say, how to say it, who to talk to, what not to say, what not to do, all those different things. So when I say I'm gonna walk with you till you get your keys, I will walk with you until you get your keys, okay? How often do I give this class? I think I've given it once this year. This is the second time I'm giving it this year, so I don't do it very often, so I'm just say that. Is it monthly or quarterly? It's weekly for 4 weeks, every Thursday for 4 weeks. After the 4 weeks is over, you go over into a group with me. It's a small, intimate group. And like I said, you guys will have me directly to you until you get your property, till you get your keys, okay? I'm gonna walk with you until you get your keys. I'm gonna tell you what to say on the phone, all of that. So it's a very intense class. To me, it's very cheap. I should be charging more. In my other classes, I do charge a whole lot more, but I'm just on this kick right now of obeying God. So y'all better get me while the getting is good. Okay, the code works perfect. All right, so that's that. I'll send you guys another email with that information as well. I see you guys signing up for the real estate class. I'm so excited. So excited about that. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. I'm gonna open up the floor for some questions because I know some of you may have some questions. All right, so, ooh, I spilled this water. All right, so I'm gonna open the floor up for some questions. If you have a question, what I want you to do is just raise your hand. I think Zoom has some type of emoji somewhere where you can raise your hand. And I will answer your questions. I saw somebody's hand. Mario, you want to go ahead and unmute yourself?
Good evening. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Just wanted to find out, so when I meet with you and I select the land, at that time, do I meet the other person that will be supporting the loan?
So
How
yeah,
does that
they'll
work?
email you from the underwriting department. So we'll all be working together. Yeah.
Okay, and do you have to build on the land right away, or you just
No.
it's just
So the properties, you don't have to build on any other property right away. It's up to you when you want to build. If you want to build tomorrow or if you want to build 10 years from now, it's up to you.
is there a fee to keep up the land while you're waiting to decide on what you are going to do?
What do you mean a fee? There's a mortgage.
Well, a mortgage, but I'm just saying, like, if the grass has to be cut or, things like
Yeah, so
that.
you're the property owner. The only thing about it is if you get a property in an HOA, they have their own set of rules. All of the properties are not in the HOA, so you don't have to maintain the property right away. If you do get one of those smaller properties that's in an HOA subdivision, they may require you to keep the grass cut. They may not. Some of them don't actually. I think I only seen like 2 that require you to keep the land, the property, the grass cut, but for the most part, they don't. But for those properties that are inside of a neighborhood, they typically, like I said, I only seen 2 that does require you to pay their HOA fee and to, upkeep the property. But again, those are like your properties that's like 0.2 acres, a really small residential lot. So if that's not something that you're looking to get into, for the most part, the other properties do not require that. But also keep this in mind. I'm glad you brought that up, guys. Anytime you purchase any real estate, please understand that you will have taxes unless you get it zoned as a parsonage, but you will have taxes. The taxes are super, super cheap on raw land. I'm talking about you may pay $1 per acre per year. So if you got 20 acres, your property taxes may end up being $20 every year. They'll send you a tax bill at the end of the year, just like any other mortgage, or sometimes they roll it into the loan, but this particular company, they're not going to roll it into the loan. You just make that one payment at the end of the year, but you will get a tax bill, but you will know ahead of time what to estimate for your tax bill, okay? And you pay that directly to the county. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Hope that makes sense.
Yes.
Okay, did I answer all your questions?
Yes, thanks.
Okay. Perfect. All right, Jessica, you're up next.
Yes, thank you. It seems like the properties are going quickly, as you stated. How are people viewing these? Because I would assume people don't have time to fly there and look at the property. Is it all online?
Yeah, so when you book a call with me, I'm gonna literally pull up the property with you. We're gonna search it. We're gonna look at Google Maps. We're gonna look at Google. You can pull up Google Earth, and you can do, unless you're in the state and you can go and see it. You're always welcome to go and see the property. If you live close by the property, you can, there's no, requirement to buy it before you see it. Some people don't. They look online and they see the property that they want. They look at the map and see the area and they're fine with it. So like I said, you're able to go out to the property, but however, you could be going to the property and it can get sold that day. Now, we do have something where you can hold the property, hold the property. I think they charge like $500 and it's a holding. It's refundable to just hold the property until you go out and see it. I think you got 7 or 14 days to do your due diligence to see if this is the property that you want. And if you don't want it, that fee is refundable and you can go and look at another property. So you're not locked into, any particular property. And then also don't forget about that exchange program. Okay. Did I answer your question?
You did. Thank you so much.
No problem. All right, Gabrielle.
How do the carbon rights work with the properties?
Say that one more time.
How do the carbon rights work with the properties?
Carbon rights. Are you talking about like the mineral rights?
Let me see here. Like, 'cause it's like something like this underneath the land that you may not own that part underneath the land.
Yeah, the mineral rights. And so mineral rights, they run concurrent with the covenants of the land. So basically what that means is every property is gonna have covenants and they're gonna have restrictions. Not all of the restrictions are like what you're thinking, like you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do that. Some of the restrictions are you literally just can't have pigs on the land because if they foreclose, they don't want to have to remove pigs. Some properties come with the mineral rights, which is what you're talking about. Some do not. And so before you make a purchase, that's another thing I'm going to go through with you is the covenants and the restrictions on the land. Every piece of land is different because every state is different, every county is different. And so we'll look at that and see, okay, what are the restrictions for this particular state and this particular property? This particular property allow you to own the minerals and you have mineral rights, or do you not have mineral rights? And if you don't have mineral rights, you just don't have mineral rights. So that's just something to keep in mind. I will tell you guys this, some of the stipulations that I've seen with the restrictions on the property is they do not want anybody, any city would, in their right mind, would probably say this. You can't go and dump trash on the land. You can't put like a whole bunch of junk cars on the land. They don't want that. It'll be a code violation for them, so they will probably fine you for that. And another thing is until you pay the land off, if you're planning on raising pigs, some properties will say you can only have 3 pigs. Some properties will say you can't have any pigs. So we will go through all of those restrictions before you make the purchase. If you want to, I'm gonna send you the link for all of that that's available. But those are questions that you will have. And then also when you get your contract from the underwriter, they're going to include a copy of that as well. So you just want to make sure that you read it thoroughly to understand what you can and cannot do on whatever property that you get. Okay. Some properties, you can't have this big skyscraper commercial building. It can only be a residential. So, those are different. That's just any property that you're going to buy. So whether you buy these properties, any property that you go out and buy in the world, you're going to have some type of covenants that come along with the property that'll let you know what you can and cannot do. Okay, so did I answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
No problem, no problem. So I'm opening up if anybody else have any questions. And also, I want some feedback. Did you guys enjoy this? What's something that stood out to you? Just, kind of give me some feedback. Let me know. Was the presentation good? Did you understand? So I love it. So you guys can unmute, let me know how you felt about the webinar and what are your thoughts. Okay, go ahead, Marcus. I see you.
Yes, this question. Will we be able to get will we get a link to the actual properties that are available, or will it?
Yeah, so you'll get an actual link to the property. So yeah, when we go through our meeting, I'm gonna go through the properties with you, and then whichever one you select, I'll send you the link that has all of the information for the property. So we'll go by state. We'll go according to whichever state you choose. We'll go into each city, and then I'll send you the link to the properties that you're interested in. And then you just let me know which one you want to close on, and we'll typically go through that at the same time.
Okay, thank you so much.
No problem. Sonia?
Hi, I just want to thank you for opening this up to us. I know I've been really hearing and feeling the impression in my spirit to own land, to make a difference in my family. And I know it's more people out here that have information like this, but they put a high dollar amount
Yeah.
on giving it to people or just give it to a few people. So I just thank God for using you to bring us to this. So thank you.
No problem at all. It is just such a blessing. Anyone else? Also, can you guys do me this one favor? I see some more hands going up. Can you guys do me this one favor? This will mean so much to me because I am doing this for free. This is what I need from you. The way that people understand that what I'm giving is valuable is when they see other people that feel like it's valuable. So what I want you guys to do, if you can, there's no pressure. I love when it happens. If you guys post about on Facebook, post about what you got out of the class, that how you felt about the class, so that I can share with my other followers so that they'll know like a real person actually came into the webinar and got the information that they needed. You guys probably saw me post other testimonials, but make sure you tag me in it. So that way I can repost those and show people that it's actually a real thing happening out here. So if you guys would do that for me, that'll be my payback. Can you do that for me? That'll be my payback. Melody, I saw your hand. Why you put your hand down?
You know how I do, girl.
What are so good
Okay,
to
so
see
I want to say I hope I can sleep tonight. When I tell you, like my wheels over here are like going like 100 miles per hour. Yeah. So thank you so much for this class. I missed the last one because of a family issue, but I was like, no. I put an alarm on. I blocked everybody out, and I jumped on. So yeah, hey landowners. So with the real estate investors training, I know you mentioned about the business credit. So I'm ready to start a new business, and I want to know how does that work? Do I have to wait a certain time, or is that immediate?
So I'm going to help you build it. So it's not going to be like you start the business tomorrow, you start the business today and you get credit tomorrow. So if you're just
Okay.
starting your business, it can take, sometimes it can take about 90 days before we even can get it established enough to get some of this credit.
Okay.
So, when it comes to if you're just now establishing your business, that may take some time, but I'm not talking about, 10 years. I'm talking about maybe 6 months to a year to establish
Okay.
that business credit. However, you can be doing other things in the meantime to still jump into the real estate market to do it.
Okay. That was gonna be my next question. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
No problem. All right. Anyone else that want to share before we log off for the night? Jessica, is your hand still up or you put it back up?
I put it down and then I put it up again.
Okay, go ahead.
I just want to say thank you so much. I was in the waiting room, hoping and hoping. So I'm glad to be on the second round of this training. And I want to say this, that I have really been struggling in my mind with my age, right? And just always being such a procrastinator. But this is a godsend from you, and I look forward to speaking more about it. Thank you.
Well, God bless you. Listen, it is never too late. I don't care if you 99. So I don't know who this is for, but it's never too late to start dreaming. It's never too late to start making moves. Okay. So y'all seen who was it? Dada Peoples just got married at her big age. Listen, it's never too late to do anything. You're right on time and right where you're supposed to be when God wanted you to be. And so I'm really excited for you guys. I'm going to send that email out in just a few minutes where you'll have the link to my schedule and you can schedule with me if you want to go ahead and start looking at land with me and making that purchase. Then of course, guys, make sure that you go and get these spots on this real estate investors course. I'm telling you, it is a hot class. I'm not just tooting my own horn. I'm telling you what I know. I got real receipts from real people that are still out here making money from the information that I shared. And so if you ready to take your life to the next level, don't delay in getting in that class. Okay. Kat, did you have a question?
Oh, hello, Pastor Jazz. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I am good. I just want to say thank you so much for this class and information. I felt like I was low-key stalking your page in order to get in the class. But yeah, I just thank God that you felt in your heart to give us this information to propel us into the future that God has for us. So I bless God for you and your husband.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for even coming on. Listen, I mean, I'm putting the information out there, but it's a blessing when you guys are able to participate and come on and really receive the things that God has given us to receive. And we receive from you guys when you just by you showing up is a blessing to us. And so I know my husband is on here and I know he's grateful as well. Babe, did you want to say anything? I know you're on here. I know you got the kids for me, but did you want to say anything before we log off for tonight? No, he said I'm good. Okay. So listen, God bless you guys. I'm going to go ahead and end the Zoom. I really enjoyed this session with y'all. I'm looking forward to helping you guys become landowners. And for some of you, like full-time real estate investors, for those that I see a few of you guys enrolled in the class. I'm really excited about that. So I'm going to send out this email to you guys. I enjoyed it so much. Tell your family, tell your friends to get on the wait list. I am going to be doing another webinar. I'm gonna try to do a morning time one because I know some people, you know, they need something done in the morning. So I'm gonna try to do a morning one. So if you got any other questions, you guys can just text me really quick on that message, or you can reply back to my email. I'm very personable. You guys probably gonna also get a follow-up call. So I'm gonna let you guys know now. My husband is probably going to call you and just talk to you, just give you that one-on-one feel to just kind of see how things are going. So look out for a call from him, or you may get a call from me just to give you that personal touch, because I want you guys to know that we're real people and we really do care about what God is wanting to do in your life and your well-being and you getting to your next level. So God bless you all, and I will see you next time.